Hey guys, this is Rant Kid here, and this is the second and final video I'm going to upload today because I want to have to keep using this crappy bear. And yeah, so I'm going to be talking about Joseph Awesome and TraiL. Now these guys are from PlayStation Network, and they have a lot of history with John and Hidden Sun 95 and Hidden Sun 95's girlfriend Nancy. Now, basically, Joseph Awesome. Well, let's just start with Joseph Awesome. Now, Joseph Awesome is this guy who literally stalks, and obsesses over Hidden Sun 95's girlfriend Nancy. I mean, he just does this from time and time again. Now, he did kind of stop, but he has all of her pictures that she uploaded to Facebook. Every single one, even the pictures before. And he moved back to PlayStation 4. Oh yeah, and he was on PlayStation 4 temporarily, so he can be on there, so he can get away from John and Hidden Sun 95. And John and Hidden Sun 95, they trolled the mess out of Joseph Awesome, but yet Joseph kept falling into their trap, constantly being friends with them. I mean, he was that dumb, and he was trolled when he was trying to learn what trolling was. I mean, this guy is just. Mm. He puts the word in stalker. He has pictures of her from 7th grade to 9th grade. This dude, he just obsessed over them. And he tried to break them up by trying to so-called expose them. But his plans of exposing them ended up backfiring for some reason, which is just beyond me. And he's just sick. And he claims that he gets all the girls in his town, and that all the girls in his town are cute, they fine and all, but yet he likes to try to have every single picture of one girl who shows no love interest slash romantic interest with whatsoever, while she's dating somebody who is a dropout and will never amount to nothing or never get a job. But besides that, Joseph is just sick. Now, I used to be his so-called friend because I would only see him pop up, and he seemed like a nice guy until that one voice chat when it was just me, Young Money, John, and the Son, and Joseph Awesome's boyfriend or so called booty buddy, Trailblazer. but in this voice chat, everything was revealed. I mean, it was just so much revealing stuff about this guy that I never knew, because I asked John and Hits on 85 questions about, well, why was this guy doing this? How long has he known you? And half of it was Young Money's fault when he did say something that escalated it because he can't keep his mouth shut. But just Joseph Awesome is just sick, and he he claims that he goes to church, but yet the stuff that he does is unholy. And whenever he's normal or in his own world, he has a southern accent. But when someone gets him fired up, he just talks like a black Hank Hill. I am not lying, a black Hank Hill. Just imagine how the black version of Hank Hill from King of the Hill would sound like. Just imagine it. Yes. And if you already did imagine it, he sounds exactly like that. Like, what you think you're doing? I come up here to bring my homies, you know? Like that. That's how he talks. He talks like a black ghetto version of Hank Hill. And this is just funny how I said it. But this guy is just awful. And the only friend that he's ever had was this guy named Trailblazer, who is just kind of dumb. Now, I'm going to talk about Joseph Awesome later. Now, I'm going to get on Trailblazer because the stuff about Trailblazer is dumb. Now, Trailblazer was always picking on John, and he does sound, and John and Trailblazer do sound alike. Like John sounds like the younger version of Trailblazer. No offense to him if he sees the video, but Trailblazer says that he's been getting money. He had to get money on his own, and he didn't depend on an allowance. But him getting his money on his own without his mother doing it means that Trailblazer was in a bad place, but he likes to brag about it, thinking that it's a good thing. The stuff that he says is just dumb. He brags about his sad past thinking that it was good, saying that his mother or that his mother and father never made him money, never made money. He had to buy his own stuff instead of his parents doing so, even at a young age. And this dude is just sick. I mean, he's just awful. And he always likes to pick on John, saying that he's this and that. He plays Sims because he wants to have a real life. And then Trailblazer said that he lived on his own, making his own money, even as a kid when he was John's age, around like 14, 15. I mean, without any parents. So why is he bragging about that like that's a good thing? I mean, sure, it sounds like a dream or anything, but if it really happens, he was in a bad place and still is. I mean, that's sad. Like, both of his parents never met him. They just, I mean, sure that he could have just been in a house on his own, making his own decisions and making his own money. He's in a terrible place when he's just making his own money, working these jobs. Like, even as a young kid in his elementary school years, him working jobs. Any elementary school kid would just play with their friends, comic books, discover this or that, play video games. But I've never heard of an elementary school kid that had to live on his own and make his own money, just has to make his own ends meet. And he thinks of this as a good thing, saying that John has stuff the bad way, saying that he has to have allowance with his parents, that his parents gives him allowance. Yes, that's because every kid in their life has either had or hasn't had an allowance. And for the kids that had allowances in their lives, like me and John or some other people, I mean, like me, John, and probably a lot of kids or teenagers in the world has had their parents give them an allowance. Every adult had an allowance. Every old person that you've seen had an allowance. But this guy is just terrible. He tops the kids off that never had an allowance in their life. Not even in their childhood or teenhood or adolescenthood. None of that. And Trailblazer, he talks to Joey, he talks to Joseph Awesome, aka Joey as we like to call him, all the time. They play the same games. They talk to each other about this or that, and they just love to talk about John and his son 95. I mean, they talk about them all the time. I mean, they could be gay because they talk to each other a lot. They talk about John and Hidden Son 95 like they're a bunch of guys. I mean, really, these guys could be gay. And in Trailblazer, he has worked for GameStop just so he can get free games. So that was his only purpose. And instead of him paying like a lot more attention on paying bills or paying the water bill, but you think that he would do that because he lived on his own since he was like a little kid, right? Right? Wrong. He spends his hard-earned cash on frivolous things like video games and headsets and all this other stuff instead of, I mean, he does pay his electric bill from time to time, but not like how everybody else in the world does it. He treats his money as if it was something given to him, and saying that he's been doing this since he was a little kid and he never had an allowance. He had to earn his money. That doesn't sound that good from a kid that never had an allowance, by him having to have his own job on the street, not even having a childhood, which is just sad. So he's had a half childhood, half adulthood, which isn't that good. Every child isn't supposed to have a job at an early age, but this guy, he just his childhood was just sort of like a day job and everything. I mean, wrapping my head around their lives is just terrible. They talk to each other like they're boyfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend, because they talk to so much. I mean, they talk to each other all the time so much. There's speculations that they could be gay, and Trailblazer just loves to just be in every argument that either John or Hidden Sun 95 would be in. Whenever they were in an argument with somebody in the voice chat, he will be there, and he does have this habit of just chewing to the point where people can hear him chew and swallow. Literally, it's just disgusting. And this dude's just possibly a slob. I mean, He just wastes his money on video games, and he got the PS4 just like the stalker Joey. And him and Joey have been trolled by John and Hidden Sun 95 a lot when they were so-called cool with each other. I mean, it's kind of funny how you just come across somebody occasionally thinking that they aren't that bad, or that they're just probably silent or quiet or shy, but they're just living a dark, sick, and twisted life that gives you shivers down your spine when you even mention about it or even talk about it. I'm getting shivers about talking about these guys just now, about how their future will be. I mean, they're gonna grow old on PlayStation, never having a job or anything. I mean, sure. I mean, and back to Joseph Awesome. This dude thinks that he's the this dude thinks that he's the man, thinking that he's better than everybody else, saying that he despises John and his son, but yet he keeps crawling back to them. And the thing is, yes, he was Tori's temporary boyfriend. Yes, because we all know Tori's a big fat hoe. She still is. Yeah. And basically, whenever John and Henson would just mistreat Joey a lot, Joey would be a sad little puppy and come crawling and whining back to Tori. But if Tori done something to him, he would go back to John and Henson 95, and the cycle will continue. Oh yeah, and I forgot TraiLblaZer. I mean, if John, let me rephrase this. If John and Henson would mistreat Joey in any type of way, shape, or form, or fashion, he would come running to TraiLblaZer, and if TraiLblaZer and him had some difficulties, Joey would come crawling back to Tori. This dude is like a little kid who's just mistreated and spoiled. He's like a 6-year-old kid who's just mistreated by 3 people, but yet he constantly goes back to those 3 people. He's stuck in a triangle that he'll never get out of. And in his possibilities, I think that he still talks to Tori. I mean, he was Tori's boyfriend. Then when they broke up, he went insane and stalked Nicole. Well, I don't even care if I gave out Hidden Sun 95's girlfriend's real name. I really don't care. Not like they're gonna do anything about it. If they do, come at me. But whatever. But seriously, this is just terrible. I mean, these two are living the lives of just sick people. But especially Joseph. I mean, Joseph is in a bad place. BlaZeR is in a bad place, saying that he's made all this money when he was a kid, that he had to live on his own and make his own money, is saying that John gets bullied in school when he doesn't. And John is probably the only person at his school that doesn't act ghetto, talk about twerking, talk about hashtags, none of that. And yes, I've had those same kids in my class. It drove me insane. I thought I would never make it this summer. And I'm pretty sure in 10th grade, it'll be so much worse. It'll just make me want to tear my hair apart. But I'm just going to wrap this video up. This video is like, it's gone to 13 minutes, almost 14. Now, to sum up their lives, to sum up Joseph Awesome's life. Now, Joseph Awesome's life is just terrible. I mean, he's still living with his parents. He's 16 now, and he does the same bull crap like a little kid. He doesn't know how to handle criticism. He stalks a girl that doesn't like him and only went out with him a day because she felt sorry for him, just like how she felt sorry for her current boyfriend. And he only has one friend online. And in some of TraiLblaZer's life, TraiLblaZer is jealous of a kid who has it easy and is way more smarter than him, because because TraiLblaZer and Joseph is just dumb. And he just thinks that he's better than everybody. He likes to put his nose in everything. And he moans people's names. Yes, I forgot to add about that. TraiLblaZer likes to moan somebody's names when people in the chat are just silent or doing whatever they're doing with beyond the screen, which some people would know and wonder. But he just does this to the point. I mean, he just does this a lot. And he likes to eavesdrop and spread it around. He likes to spread it like STDs or herpes. He likes to spread it around like a sexual disease. He just spreads it around. I mean, like He just spreads it. He probably spreads this on Facebook if he has one, and probably only has one like by Joey. I'm pretty sure the only person that'll be at his funeral is Joey. I mean, his parents won't be there. I mean, his parents just threw him in a house, just like Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead were living in a house on their own, and they're still 15. I mean, this guy, Joey and Joey and TraiL are just like Beavis and Butthead. They're both dumb. They're clueless. They'll never score with a chick in their lives. And I'm pretty sure that they've repeated a grade for 3 semesters. Anyway, this is the Rant Kid. I gotta finish this video because this is just this is just powerful and crazy stuff about their lives that aren't really normal. They're just totally abnormal. So this is the Rant Kid. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video about what you think. And yeah. Oh yeah, and P.S. My friend Katie got a jumper. Still hasn't been online for 3 months. He's trying to live with his other grandmother's house because his first grandmother died 18 months ago. God bless her soul that she's in heaven. And yeah, this is the Rant Kid. Like, subscribe, and comment on this video, please. I'll now my third rant will be now I'll be in Detroit when I make this third rant. So bye bye. Oh yeah, PPS. This is going to be the gun that I'm going to use. I hope I remember to take it with me. This is the Rant Kid. You already know what to do. Contact me on Facebook or else. Yeah, locked and loaded. Let me stop. Just add me on Facebook, Rock Kid.